Hosted by Mike, the Big Cheese. Children of technology. Moving out, my tongue hanging south, saliva flowing free. My eyes will blush, my balls gonna bust. Give yourself to me, the thirst I can't quench. The minuet is something I need. I'm a meeting up. I'd like to meet you. I know I'll reach out. The hunger I feel makes you a meal. Ooh, girl, you sure taste sweet. I might have, hold me there. We'll guide me to a treat. Spit your legs, I'll see the haze. Feel me deep. I'm a meeting up. I'd like to meet you. I know I'll reach you. I love eat you. Oh, I'm going down. Dive. Oh, come on. Pussy, I'll taste so fine like sweet April wine. I won't trade for any money. If you come, lying and wrong, I live for sodomy. I'm a meeting. I'd like to meet you. I know I'll reach you. I'm a meeting. I'd like to meet you. I know I'll reach you. I'd love to eat you.
All right, welcome back to the Heavy Metal Mayhem Radio Show. It is Sunday, August 2nd, 2026. Boy, we crossed the halfway point of the year, and we're closing in on the finale. It's already August, so welcome back to the show. We got a great one tonight. An interview with Jake Laws of August Burns Red. We're going to kind of take it easy for the rest of this month with interviews because I'm getting kind of burnt out. When you book over 100 guests a year and you do sometimes two interviews a week, it gets to be a lot. And when you start doing a lot in a row, like the last 2 weeks, we had a lot of pre-recorded interviews because there were a lot of press days going on. You just get burnt out repeating the same stuff over and over again and doing these interviews. So I think we'll take it easy this week. We spoke to Jake during the week. We'll get that interview on today. Maybe we'll have one a month, and then I'm off for a couple of weeks for vacation at the end of the month. So we'll just take it from there, I guess. All right there. Carnivore with Carnivore. Pete Steele had a way with words, didn't he? Absolutely love that song and that tune. I saw them, I think it was like the first show they played. They played at the Battle of the Bands at Lemoore. And on that first night, it was Carnivore. I want to say it was the band Chaos, who I was pretty friendly with at the time, and I think Blessed Death won that night. It was like three great new bands that we heard kind of for the first time, and they just blew me away. I wasn't crazy about Carnival's second record because I felt like they kind of abandoned heavy metal. I just wanted to go more into that crossover scene. They were hanging out at CBGBs and doing that whole thing, but it is what it is, right? But you still got that first Carnival record, and it's absolutely amazing from start to finish. All right. How about we get some Lex Legion on right now, and then we'll go. Yeah, I think I got a couple of new tunes tonight. We'll get to right after that, but let's do some Lex Legion first. right, we kicked off that set with Lex Legion, I Am the Resurrected. Brand new Chromags after that with Wired for Chaos. Where's Alex? We play some hardcore for him tonight. Trouble, The Fall of Lucifer. I remember the drummer, Jeff Foley. He was on my show a couple of times very early on. He was working for a beer company, I think in Vermont or somewhere, maybe Maine, somewhere in that area. And he used to send me these cases of this Allagash beer. It was so good. I can't find it anymore. I wonder if they're still in business, because if they are, it's definitely worth having a little bit shipped over to you. It's a phenomenal beer. And after that, like that mattered, right? Trouble, The Fall of Lucifer, I said, and Sabotage, Before I Hang. Now, Sabotage had played at Vakken, a couple of days ago, and I'm looking at all these people making these posts on Facebook about how great they were. They couldn't believe they finally got to see Sabotage, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, folks. You did not see Sabotage. You saw a cover band of Sabotage. There is no original members in that group at all. I know we had Chris Caffrey on. He says, well, he's the original second guitar player for the band, and if you want to go with that, okay, but that is not the Sabotage that I saw multiple times in the 80s. And I'm not gatekeeping here. I'm just saying, I don't know if people just have such low expectations today, or it's really just like a name brand thing. Do you buy like the dollar store Pampers, or do you buy the Pampers because it has the name to it? Sabotage is a band just in name today. It's not a band and original members. It's like if AI could become like a live band, that's what Sabotage would be. Them and Riot and bands into that category. There were no original members playing in that group, and I'm watching like, and then I'm seeing some guys that like in my age, and they're like, "Oh, it was the best show I've ever seen. It was incredible. I finally got to see Sabotage. You should have saw them in the '80s. That was Sabotage. Chris and John Oliva. I know Chris is gone. You're not getting him back. That doesn't happen. And a replacement guitar player would have been fine. Any replacement player in the band would have been fine if you have John on vocals. I think Zach is a great singer. I was never a fan of all the Zach era of Sabotage. I know John is going through a lot medically right now. He'll probably never perform again, for all I know, for anybody knows. But what you're seeing up there is not Sabotage. It's a sick joke. And you waited all this time to praise a band that had nothing to do with the original music they created that made you a fan of the band. Who the hell is a fan of Zach Stevens' era of Sabotage? If you're out there, raise your hand. Let me see. Because I don't know anybody that is. Like I said, I love Zach. I think he's a great singer. I love Machine to Machine and some of the other bands that he was in, but not in Sabotage. He's just not, John Oliva is such a great singer and such an original voice that it is almost impossible to replace. I know he was handpicked by John, and, that's because John was so involved with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra at the time, working with Paul O'Neill, that he just didn't care about Sabotage, I feel. And it's a shame because, they were such a great band and they deserved a lot more. They should have been humongous. Before you people out there that thought you saw Sabotage this week, you did not see Sabotage. You saw a cover band of Sabotage. And that's all I can say about that. And I know they're playing at another festival coming up, so I think they're playing at Keep It True Legions. And you'll have another bunch of people over there who were born in the late 80s who are seeing Sabotage for the first time saying, wow, what a great band they were. Once again, you didn't see Sabotage. You saw an amalgamation of some great musicians playing Sabotage cover tunes. That's all you saw. And this stuff has to end. The only way this stuff is going to end is when we stop going to these shows. I would rather go pay to see a cover band just performing Sabotage and see a band really call themselves Sabotage, because at least the cover bands put 100% into it. They give it their heart and soul. They're invested in the music because they love it. These guys are just going for a payday because they're under the Sabotage name. They have no connection to that band. So, I mean, it should just end, in my opinion. I feel the same about Riot, Carnival AD, which are at a much lower level than, Sabotage and Riot are. But too many bands out there like that, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. And now we got the bastardized version of Twisted Sister without D. Schneider in there. Some people are happy because they don't like D, but never mind liking him. He was the voice and the front man of that band, and the band would never have made it without D. Schneider. Whether you like to admit that or not, that's the God's honest truth. Now you got Sebastian Bach fronting the band. For now, who the hell knows? I don't think it'll continue on because from what I understood, nobody in the band wanted to get back together and do this again. That's why they packed it and retired 10 years ago. D kind of convinced them. Then he had to back out for health reasons. So I don't know why the rest of them followed through with it if they weren't crazy about being a part of the band anyway. I know they probably had a couple of commitments that they already made for shows, and you don't want to lose money and stuff like that. I completely understand that, but it's just crazy in my opinion. Just absolutely crazy. All right, John wanted to hear some Pagan Altar. Let's get on Judgment of the Dead for John and do another set of music for everybody. man. Brand New Destruction absolutely destroys it. Never Take Me Alive. I'm gonna talk to Dave and maybe get him on the show next month in September. Before that, Jack Panzer with Metal Melts the Ice. The band's heading over to Keep It True Legions. If you see Mark Briotti, go up to him and say hello because he always has something to give the fans. He's great like that. They don't charge for. I mean, they go all out. The stuff they buy, they just don't throw out guitar picks. They buy merchandise, like full on merchandise, and just give it out to the fans when they see them. I mean, it's incredible. If you're at the festival this week, you're gonna get signed posters from the Ample Destruction era of the band with all the original members from the band signed on a large, like 2 by 3 foot poster. They're just giving it away to everybody that comes by to get one. I believe Mark said there's gonna be some left over here. If you want them, you're gonna have to reach out to them to get it. I already did that. I want a copy. But Mark's a great guy like that. Before that, Christian wanted to hear Wanted Breed with Time to Rock, and before that, Pagan's Altar off the debut record, which didn't come out to like 1990 something, but it was recorded back in '82. Judgment of the Dead. Terry Jones passed away a long time ago. His son Alan Jones is in the band, fronting the band these days. He's the only semi member of a classic lineup, I guess. He was sort of in the band back in the late '80s. He was just a teenager, I believe, at that time, but they're still out there doing it. So if you like it, go and enjoy it. I tell you, I was gonna reach out to Jeremy this week from Heaven Hell Records by getting me a band on the show, and I saw that he's in like a little bitch fest fight with Gadir Metallic from Lost Jew Records. He's claiming that Lost Jewels puts out bootleg CDs, that they don't have the okay of the bands that do it, and it just started like this whole back and forth war, which I laughed my ass off. I think they deleted all the posts right now between the two of them, but it was like a little cat fight between them about that. When Kadir comes back with the bands that he's had, put out records by with little videos saying that they know about it and they're part of it and they're happy that it came out. Where Jeremy is swearing that these bands told him that they had no idea these records were coming out. There are labels like that. I mean, I'm off the top of my head, I'm drawing a blank on one of them. They've put out a lot of records without the bands even knowing about it. I've had some of those bands on the show to say, I can't believe there's they put out a re-release of You're All Down. Like, we didn't even know that. So there are labels that do that. But Lost Jewels, and and from being friends with Jeremy and having help for a long time now, I know they all go out of the way to get the bands okay. They have to. They have to sign contracts, and it's very on the up and up and legit. But there are labels out there that put out a lot of bootleg shit. They really do. And you can tell by the quality of it. It's basically just them transferring what they had from the original stuff on the tape. But it was funny if you ever go to the pages. Maybe you might be able to find some of the old post up. I don't know, but it was pretty funny, I have to say. All right, all righty. So let me see right now. You know what? We have an interview to get to with Jake Laws of August Burns Red. We're gonna do that. Don't forget next Sunday night. Shorty from Killer is our guest. We'll be talking to Shorty next week. Paul Van Camp. So don't forget to tune in for that. But right now, let's get to this interview with Jake Laws, and then we'll catch up with some other metal stuff before we play more music. No, you're coming in, then you're breaking up, then
Yeah,
you're
no worries.
disappearing.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, doing really well. Sorry about that. I don't know if that's on my end or yours. I'm not really sure.
I, these days, I can't even tell. With all this technology we have, I think we're better off with two paper cups and a string.
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay there,
Let me
but
see
we'll
if I can
try.
get off. I'll help clear it up. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. I think we got it figured out.
Okay. All right.
Great. What I was saying is, this new record is so brutal. I mean, it's just, 23 years in, 11 albums under your belt. This sounds like a bunch of young kids that are trying to prove themselves. I mean, it's unbelievable the power behind this new record. I mean, it was an intentional to set out to do something like that, or is it just something that comes out in the writing process when you're putting these records together these days?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for us, I mean, this is a big record for us, being around for over 20 years and it being like our 10th studio album. Um, and so I think, we really wanted to dig deeper into our writing abilities, and by doing that, we had to break a lot of processes that we usually use when we're in the studio, and really kind of challenge each other as a band and as individuals to write this record. So I think that kind of shows because when you just said like, yeah, it's like a bunch of young kids, like we had to find ourselves again, like we had to not just find ourselves, but like more of who we are, instead of going to the outside world, writing what's ever trendy or mainstream or whatever's cool right now, we decided to go internally and dig deeper as to like who is ABR and how can we write the most ABR record in 2026.
Well, you definitely did that. I mean, I don't think you guys were ever trendy throughout your entire career. I mean, I don't think any past album was following any trend or anything. I mean, you got nominated for Grammys. I mean, come on. I mean, that's a big deal. Whether the band feels about awards or not, that shows where the band's been at all these years.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. We've never really been one to follow the trends, but I think that by not doing that, we stay true to kind of the roots of who we are and our identity as August Burns Red and within the metal scene. So we're just stoked, man. We're really happy how the album came out. It looks like everybody's really enjoying it, which is awesome. Because it's cool to know that after 20 years, you're still writing and people are resonating with it.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I mean, when bands go back to the beginning when they first get started, I mean, there's a wealth of songs to draw from because you're writing and recording songs, hoping for that record deal to come out to start releasing them, and maybe you got enough songs to cover you for like 1 or 2 albums if it happens. But then as time goes on, you're on tour all the time. You guys are working and doing other things. Now you got to start playing catch up with the music. Does it get harder and harder with each record to do that? Because when you think about it, there's no more than a 2 or 3 year wait between most of your records. That's not a lot of time these days.
Yeah, that's very true. It feels like we start writing for the next record right after the other one was released. I mean, it is a process where I think you know we're always writing throughout the years, but yeah, I definitely think that there is a game to be played where you're trying to keep the roots of your sound, but also expand and be creative within the boundaries of who you are as a band. So it can get a little tricky, but we must have figured something out because we're on record 10, and we've got some really good songwriters in the band. So we're blessed in that area.
Like tricky, I think was the greatest word you could have used for that because you don't want to isolate the old die-hard fans, but you also want to evolve as a musician. Things change from that first record to that middle record to the last record. Musically, you're always changing, whether it's the stuff you listen to, you're interested in, or just stuff you're learning how to write or play. I mean, so there's always going to be an evolution, but how far do you go not to isolate the old fans, but yet to win over new ones?
Yeah, I think that's really dependent on the band and what their goals are. We've seen a lot of our peers, take a complete left turn and write a different style of music. We've seen some of our peers, write lighter music and not be as aggressive or heavy. And so, I mean, you know, with every album, there are going to be certain people that aren't going to like it or think, for us, for example, you could say, oh, well, they sound the same. They've always sounded like this. For another band like, Parkway Drive, it's like they completely had changed their sound years back and weren't as aggressive. So some people didn't like that. So you're never really going to please anyone. It's really more about the band. They are the artists, and it's up to them as to how they want to steer their ship. But for us, yeah, we've always loved to just kind of be ourselves and kind of protect our identity, not to blemish our identity with trends or different you know things that we could be doing that don't fit who we are. It just doesn't, not worth it to us.
Sure. I mean, is aggression one of the primary things you try to keep with each record? And does it get harder to do it as you get older and you kind of just naturally start to mellow out a little bit more?
Sorry, say that one more time.
I was going to say, is aggression one of the key things to keep in every one of your songs and each album? Because
Hmm.
it does get harder to do as we get older because we get a little bit more mellow as we get up there in age.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have mellowed out more as I've gotten older, but I still think I got quite a bit of hate in me. So I'm not too worried about it, honestly.
We live in a world that gives you a lot of things to be hateful about sometimes these days. So, I mean, it's an easy inspiration to draw from for that.
Yes, I agree.
I was just looking at your tour schedule. I mean, you guys are literally out from September until I think of February of next year. Now that's a world tour. I mean, you guys are really all over the place. That's got to be draining on you.
Yeah, I think at this point, we're pretty used to it. Um, I used to think the same way, where it's like, oh man, this is such a long tour. This is going to be so much. And really, what you have to learn and understand is how to maintain. So, you can go much longer if you have the right mental state and you understand how to maintain rest and balance on tour. I've seen guys, completely blow themselves out in like week 3 of a 6-week tour. I've come to the end of a 6-week long tour and felt like it was a breeze, And so I think it's really a lot of it is understanding, how to maintain a healthy balance while being on the road and taking joy in the present experiences versus longing for something else.
True. When people think about bands being on a tour, they associate like the lifestyle of Motley Crue and Ozzy back in the '80s and the movie Rockstar stuff like that. But you would burn yourself out immediately if you lived that kind of life on the road all the
Yeah,
time. This is a job, and people don't realize that it's a lot of work. That 2 hours up on stage when you're playing, that's where it's all at. But there's a lot of work behind the scenes to get to that stage, and that's the part that drains you out when you're in a band.
agreed. Agreed. Yeah, I say, I don't think there's rock stars. I just think there's businessmen. The rock star mentality is going to get you dried up and thrown on the side of the road pretty quickly because you can't maintain that. But yeah, professionalism. Rock stars can't be professional. Um, so yeah, we try to be professional and understand. Now, of course, you can always have fun, right? Like, I mean, you're living a unique life and get to experience unique things. So, but yeah, the mentality is definitely one of professionalism.
It has to be. That's the only way to preserve and keep going these days. If people are like, oh my God, you get to go all over the world, you get to see all these things. You're like, really? I'm on a tour bus. I'm looking out the window at a lot of these stuff. They think you're like, you get that time. You do get those occasional days off where you can enjoy yourself a little bit more than others.
Of course, yeah, of course, yeah. It goes fast, and there's processes and procedures, and there's limitations, and there's things that are of the unknown that you're going to have to solve while being on the road, and all those types of obstacles. It's much different than what people think it is on TV or when they think of Motley Crue. Yeah.
True. I mean, being on the road is the only way you can do it these days. There's not a lot of money in the records anymore, but as a creative artist, you always want to put music out there and then go out and tour behind it. It seems like you guys have never really had trouble lining up some really good tours, significant tours, tours that have taken you all over the place. Is it important to be out there on the road as much as you can, or is it just, one cycle at a time based on the records that you're promoting?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for depending on who you ask, um, but I would say that it is important to be out on the road for the connection. I mean, if you really look what your mission and vision is of being in the band, maybe that's just to write music, maybe that's just to make money, or maybe that's to like really connect with individual people to try to, lift them up or give them something positive to kind of change their life in a good way, right? So, impact versus ROI, I guess, is up to the person and individual. But yeah, I think touring is important, and I think that for us, we're a little more old school, and that's how we were raised. We were raised to tour, so that's what we do.
Can you ever actually get comfortable in a band? I mean, when you've made it to a certain point and you can continue that and maintain that. But do you ever have to say, we could just fall apart tomorrow, things could just collapse on us, the music business could get worse than it is, the crowds might not show up again. Is there ever a comfort factor to say, we've made it, we've hit that point where we're okay, we're comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're comfortable now. I think I think for us, when you're younger, you think success is materialistic things or it's accomplishments, but really, in my opinion, success is the experience of pursuing my desires. And and so, to be honest, like I'm so thankful, and I feel very blessed that people love our new album, and it means a lot because it tells me that I'm connecting with the fans, right? But but the success is in writing the record. The success is in the fact that the record was written. It's not in what comes after it. Whatever comes after it is great, and we're very thankful for that, right? Like for all the years that we've been here, and all the praise and good things that people have given us. Yes, but I think success is the experience. So like we said about tour, right? For me, touring isn't just about, well, time to go make money. It's about the success of going on tour and having that experience. But yeah, I think it's yeah, I think it's just an interesting life, man. To be honest with you, and interesting experience. And yeah, I just feel honored by it.
Yeah. People always try to pigeonhole bands these days. They want them into some specific genre. I guess so they feel like, this is my thing and they belong in my category. I don't think you guys could be fit into any real category. I mean, I would just say heavy metal in general because they'll call you metalcore, they'll call you Christian metal, they'll call you so many different things, but it's just metal. I mean, I don't think you guys can be pigeonholed in any one specific, genre. Does it bother you when when people try to do that to put their bands into a specific genre? Because I think it isolates a lot of other fans. They say, well, they're a metalcore band. I'm not really into that. But then they hear the music, like, oh, that's not really metalcore to me. That's this and that's this. And so does it bother you being, put into a specific genre?
It doesn't bother me. I understand it. Um, it makes it easier for people to live with it. Just to live in general. The world tries to put us in boxes all the time. That's what we're used to. We're used to putting things in boxes and judging people and telling everybody where everybody fits in life. So it doesn't offend me because it's very normal. But yeah, I don't think it really matters. Honestly, I think metal music is a beautiful genre, and there's tons of bands that sound way heavier than us, or but I think it's metal music, yeah, and I think the whole Christian metal thing. I mean, there's only two Christians in the band at this point. It's me and my drummer, and we've never been a worship band, so that doesn't really compute to me either. But yeah, man, it's music is music, and if our music helps you feel, or encourages you to change for the better, hell yeah, like that's awesome. And that gives me purpose. So thank you. Like that's how it works in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to your songs and the music and the lyrics, nothing ever comes off as preachy. And I don't think anybody ever wants to be preached about anything. Everybody has their own
No.
beliefs. They believe what they want to believe. But I think there are messages in your songs. But like I said, I don't think that you're beating people over the head with them. You're just writing how you feel at a specific moment about a specific topic.
Yeah. All the lyrics for this record are really about my experiences in life, and through the lens of that experience, how it feels, and believing that other people have experienced very similar things to me. Depression, self sabotage, narcissism, grief, all these types of things, and through all those experiences, there's something that we hold on to from experiencing that stuff. And the title of the record, "Season of Surrender," is trying to encourage the listeners to resonate with one of the topics and experiences, to realize that there's something that they're holding close to their heart, and to give it up, whatever that may be, to surrender it, and so that they can become a better version of who they were intended to be.
True. This new record features a couple of guest performances. Were these songs written specifically, with them in mind? Jamie and Mike, were they written for them, or did you just say, hey, you know what, they might sound good in this? How did it come about where you pick out these two people for those two, specific songs?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, we knew we wanted to have friends on the album, so that's kind of where Mike Haranica really stuck out. That song "Legions" is about narcissism, and his vocals. He's a legend. He has a very edgy, aggressive, kind of street sound, scream to his voice, and so we thought that he'd be a great addition to that song, and I think that he did a really good job. Alex and Sean from Make Them Suffer, I wrote a female singing part for the end of that song because the topic is about self sabotage, and this guy's struggling. He's, he just seems to ruin everything he touches. And then there's this angelic voice, think of like an angel speaking to him saying, hey, like there's more to life than this, and you were meant to live differently, right? And so she has the perfect voice for that section. And when I wrote it, after I finished writing that section, I immediately thought of her. So yeah, I guess in a sense it was kind of written for her. And then Sonic Salvation was with Jamie Hales from Lurhs. He's just a hell of a guy, very positive, uplifting dude, and that's what that song is really about. It's about music lifting us up, uh, helping us overcome obstacles and struggles in life, mental struggles, whatever it might be, and the power how music can unite us as a community.
True. I mean, as a singer, is it more challenging for you to have someone else coming in and singing parts of a song, maybe something that you wanted to do, or a way to put them into it?
Um, no, no. I mean, of course, there's sections that I'll write, and I will say, hey, this is the idea, and this is the concept. But I mean, the whole idea, I believe, for myself is inviting another artist to come in and create art with me. I have to be comfortable with letting go of the leash a bit there, and 9 times out of 10 they do a better job than I do anyway. So
I don't think so. I'm glad you feel that way, but you're doing a great job. The most important thing is that you've managed to maintain a steady lineup pretty much throughout the whole career of the band. That's not an easy thing to do these days.
yeah, yeah. You said to manage what
I
for all
mean,
these years?
you've managed to keep a pretty steady lineup for a very long time in this band. That's not easy to do to keep members in a band anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's I mean, that's it's like being married to four people without the sex. It's rough. It's because you get to really know them. You get to really understand the individual people, and you've been with them for 20 years, so you kind of see them grow through some of the more challenging seasons of their lives. But you mourn with them, you have grace with them, you forgive them, and they mourn, grace, forgive with you as well. And so through that process, if you're willing to choose love and grace, you can become so much stronger. And that's what has happened with us. And I mean, we've had some really really challenging times, but we chose to navigate and accept and move forward. So yeah, it's amazing.
That's very important. I mean, you think as the years go on, and then you get into decades of a couple of guys being together, you will kind of know where each other draws a line on certain things, not push to that point. But sometimes, I guess, you kind of have to for the sake of the music. Maybe not for the personal reason, but for the sake of the band and the music.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I would say that there's seasons where guys don't get along, or somebody's butting heads with somebody else, or but you just work through it, and yeah, I mean, we all this band is our life. It's our purpose and it's our life, and so you have to you have to bow to the purpose. Like you can't just be a cocky little son of a gun and think you're the man.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
I mean, did you put out a record over the span that you guys have been together? Was there a record that you put out that you said to yourself, "I don't know how we're going to top this record," but then you do? Because to me, each album seems to surpass the one before it. That gets harder and harder to do as the years go on, the albums come out. I don't think you guys have ever looked back, but is there ever that one record that you felt when you recorded, you said, "I don't know how we're going to beat this"?
Uh, um, I don't know. I mean, I thought Phantom Anthem was a really, really strong album for me. I thought Guardians was a really, really strong album. Um, and I don't know that I've ever looked at an album and said, how are we going to beat it? But I've definitely been at the drawing board saying, okay, we gotta create something really magical here. And I mean, this last record, usually I'll be in the studio for 2 weeks to record vocals. This time around, I was in the studio for 2 months. I was there for the entire process. I was there day one, and then I left the last day. And it was because I really wanted to make sure that I could give this album my all, and and I feel like I did that. So maybe this will be the one that I go, uh oh, can we top this record?
You never know. You know what? Fans that listen to the band's albums, they always think that all the guys in the studio are together all the time throughout the entire recording process. They don't realize members come in, they go, different people come in to put their parts down. So, I mean, when you do hear the final product sometimes, when you're not there for the entire recording of a song, do you just say to yourself, wow, look what the hell we put together?
Um, yeah, I mean, we're very much, in tune with being at the studio periodically. So we do get like, it's not that like I'll be gone for 2 weeks and never hear anything back or come back to the studio. It's just my sections are, that's how much time I would spend on it. But I would say once the record is finished and it's um, mixed and mastered, that's when you go, holy smokes, like this is it. This is the baby that was born, and it's a pretty special moment when everything is together and you get to hear the final product. Um, yeah, it's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, that's a great feeling. I mean, with this record, I mean, you're back with Fearless again. It's been about 10 years since you were on the label. What made you decide to go back?
We when we first signed to Fearless, we had a really great team. It was probably, in my opinion, some of the best years that we had with a particular label putting in the work. And so we just felt like, hey, we came back to Fearless when we opened our doors to taking offers from labels, and we were like, man, we really miss you guys. And they're like, well, we really miss you too. And so we sat down and we said, hey, what are we going to do here if we work together? And kind of came up with a path and vision. And they've got a solid team there. They've got a lot of hardworking people, and so it made sense. Because some labels, they want to pay you a lot of money, and then they want to you know and that's kind of it. Or there's labels that are like, hey, let's keep moving here. Let's create something, right? Let's do something. And we're doers. We like the idea of continuing on and building more.
Well, Jake, you did a great job in this record. I mean, the Season of Sun has been out now for a little over a month. I'm not going to keep it. I know you got interviews going all day long today, but it was a pleasure to talk with you. I'm going to play a couple of songs off this record. Just keep it up. You guys are amazing.
Hey, thanks, brother. I really appreciate your time, man. Thanks for ripping the tunes, and hope you have a great rest of your day, man.
You too, and enjoy your tour. Have a great time out there.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.
Bye.
There you go. An interview we did this week with Jake Laws from August Burns Red. I know a lot of people listening to our show aren't fans of, metalcore, so we'll kind of skip playing something off of that right now. But nice interview, nice guy to talk to. There you go. Like I said, we're going to take it easy the month of August. We've already had over 75 guests on in the last 8 months, so we're going to kind of ease up a little bit right now and just take it back a drop. How about we get on some brand new Tony Iommi, World Alone? The video is pretty cool. They made it like a little movie type thing with the song in the middle. I kind of dug it. When I hear this song, I can't help but think of Tony Martin singing it, and I wish he would have been on there. And then I could also hear Dio's like voice on this song saying how great that would have sounded too. Dio's no longer with us, but Tony Martin is, and I guess Tony Iommi didn't want it to be a Sabbath record or to sound like Sabbath. But no matter what Tony Iommi does, as long as it's heavy metal, it's gonna sound like Black Sabbath because he was Black Sabbath. I mean, come on. And I see a lot of people criticizing him and complaining about the songs. It's okay, it's blah. He doesn't write great riffs anymore. The man invented heavy metal. The man invented it. He's almost 80 years old and he's still writing music and doing a great job at it. Give him a break here. Maybe you don't like it. I don't know, but I think it's a pretty cool tune. But not the biggest fan of Yorn anymore for some reason, but it sounds good. But let's get on some new Tony Iommi. His World Alone.
Hey stranger, survive and cast their black shadows on this land, dividing souls far below. The gathering winds, the armies watch around from the west, foretelling news of freedom's hand. In secrecy, they've infiltrated all of those cartels, controlling her year after year. So we got to stop phenomenon, believe in what's been said. Our eagles fly, we have no one to fear. We watch the sunrise and we watch the sunrise and that it won't be our Is it late to drive us beyond our system? Always there. Freedom by choice is wild and best. So we wait to hear the atom spit our seeds to be turned. Run from the past and before the storm. We watch the sunrise and we watch the sunrise and but it won't be our we watch the sunrise we watch the sunrise it won't be
All right, we started off that set with brand new Tony Iommi. Absolutely love it. World Alone. But after that, Air Raid, Line of Danger, Salem's Child with Unbound, The Raj doing Violation, the good old 80s where you could write songs about having underage sex and get away with it. People laugh at it still. You gotta love that time. Not what they were talking about, but I mean, just the time in general. And right there, Queensryche with "Before the Storm." I don't remember if it was when this record came out or "The Warning." I did. They had the picture of the band on the back cover, and I wanted to get my hair permed. Like Eddie Jackson had this great perm, and I had hair down to my shoulders back then. I was in high school, I believe. I think it came in '85, maybe '86. I don't remember. My hair was a little past my shoulders, but when you have your hair permed, it really, it really bunches up together and makes your hair really short. And I gave it a picture. I said, "This is, what you do. I want you to perm my hair this way." I think it was right before my graduation. My parents had a shit attack because I look like a little like a teacup ballerina boy, like the Dutch boy, and all bunched up and curled up. And I didn't know anything about humidity and shit like that, but my hair was a nightmare. And it took forever for that perm to wear out. After a couple of months, I gave up, and I just gave myself a crew cut because I was in a hardcore band anyway, so it kind of fit. But I don't forget that time. Learn a little bit about haircuts before you actually get one done. All right, we got about 15 minutes left in the show. We're going to play a few more tunes and wrap it up. I finally completed my man cave down in my basement. We moved into this new house about 8 or 9 years ago. We sold our old house that we lived in for the first 30 years that we were married out here, my wife and I. And I finally got to it. I put all my stuff out. I had a lot of stuff in boxes still that I haven't been able to take out because I just didn't have any room or storage. So I'm going through all my albums and I'm like putting them out. There were a lot that was still in the box that I finally got to, and I'm putting them. I'm like, how come like all my collections end like around '86 or '87? Like I have Iron Maiden up to like like somewhere in time. I've got Judas Priest up to Turbo, and everything kind of ends like in the mid '80s. And I realized that CDs were out at the time. I got my first CD player in 1986, and I just started buying everything on CD after that. Then eventually the kind of vinyls kind of died off. But I'm like, holy shit! I always thought I had these entire collections on vinyl. Thank God I still got like my bands that did one-off records and then kind of disappeared. But my major collections like Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Metallica. I stopped buying everything after Justice. Oh, but I mean, all the bands that have been around for like 30, 40, or 50 years, all my vinyl collections ended around '86 and turned into CDs. So I'm out there now buying them. I went to Lancaster, Pennsylvania this week with my wife, and there's this. It's called Crackleberry. It's like an antique store the size of a football field. There's all individual booths in there that people put stuff up for sale. And they had one booth that had tons of heavy metal records from the '80s. They were going for like between $10 and $20. The ones that were $20 were actually weren't even worth that money. They were overpriced. The ones that were 10 were steal. So I kind of caught up on a lot of stuff over there. But thank God vinyl came back about 10 years ago, and I've been buying them since then again. So I feel pretty good. But I have to go and find some of the original albums used to finish off my collection on vinyl. And that's just the way it has to be. All right, let's get to the next song. Let's wrap it up. One more set here. We'll do some Anaconda for everybody.
Just your power. Let's go cars, fighting song. None of us to the air. Run these walls we battle. Suck the ball. Run these walls we battle. None of us to fall. Fight it out with the guns. Watch the sunlight. Watch it fall. Drop the die. Touch them up with blades. Got not to the build. Starting over with the fix. Demolish things with God. Years and years to fix the things. The body was his head. Day will come to do it again. People watch it die. Destruction of the world. We love not so humbly. From these walls we battle. Talk about we battle, none of us are bold. Fighting out with the guns, that's the alive. Watch them fall, drop the die, cut them off the grades. Get out, it's time calls, and then they'll look for you. Find out minute, blue and war, is it what you to do? From these walls, from these walls, from these walls we go.
Ah, the great wine tea, Don't Stop Running. Those guys should have been humongous. They had everything going for them back in the 80s. It's just a matter of pot luck. Some people make it, some people don't, but they had all the songs. They had great tunes, and they still live on today, which is a beautiful thing. Before that, Bitch with Damnation Alley, yes, we took Betsy Bitch out of the book. We gave everybody a second chance when we started up the show again a few years ago. And before that, Anaconda with From These Walls We Battle. I reached out to the guitar player and the singer of the band to come on the show. The guitar player says, and maybe, in the future, if he feels up to it, he'll do it. Like, Eddie Truck is like knocking on his door, waiting for him to have him on his show, I guess. I don't know, but I couldn't get any of them on there. Anytime I try to go for the real underground bands in the show, when we get them, the interviews usually just completely bomb out because they really don't have much to talk about, much to say. We put more into those bands and how we feel about them than the actual band members do sometimes, but that's just a part of life. All right, well, I want to thank Jake for doing the interview with me this week. It was great talking with him. We're going to wrap it up here tonight. One more song. Thatcher is another band I've reached out to multiple times to get on the show. I've never gotten a response from any of the members of that band. I think I've hit up three guys. There's one left to go and try and get. I'll see if I can make that happen. But I love this record. A cool band out of Florida back in the day. How about we close out with Witcherson? Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and I will see you next Sunday night. Good night.
She wants, got you in her silver